Merry meet and welcome to Psalmic Saturday here at Ariel's Corner. This is Ariel Gatoga, and we are streaming live on YouTube and on Twitch. Oh, I didn't change our little scene here. That's better. Thanks for coming to Psalmic Saturday today. I hope you're having a great day. Moderating today on YouTube are the lovely Shirley and the lovely Honeypaw, and moderating on Twitch is the lovely Dre. Thank you so much, moderators, and thank you everybody for joining us today for this Psalm spell. We're here every Saturday doing a psalm. We're here every day but Monday doing something or other. Wednesday through Sunday are our magic streams that start at 10:15 a.m. Pacific. On Tuesday, we have a tarot class that starts at 9:45 a.m. Pacific. And we take Mondays off. So there's our schedule. Don't forget, we also have a tarot channel. If you're on Twitch, it's the same channel that you're watching right now. But if you're on YouTube, it's a different channel. It's called Ariel Gatoga Tarot. And we have readings every day too. 6 days a week, Tuesday through Sunday. And you can also find the most recent restreams of all those readings. We have a daily reading for all signs, plus a 2-week reading for your particular sun sign, rising sign, and or moon sign. And those restreams are real easy to find on our website, arielscorner.com, arielscorner.com. Just click on the free online tarot readings link in your main menu. And while you're at our main website, you can check in the footer of every page and you'll see all of our social media links. 2 of those links will get you into where you can be part of our community if you'd like to be, to get your questions answered, to get support, to give support, to answer questions. One of those is our private Facebook group, and the other one is our Discord server. So you can find those links right there on our website, arielscorner.com. arielscorner.com. In addition to that, there we go. Sorry. In addition to that, on our website, we have everything else too. We have our free courses. We have our all of our lectures. We have everything on there, and it's all free of charge. So check it out. arielscorner.com, arielscorner.com. We have chat threads open on each of these streams, so please chat amongst yourselves. And if you have any questions for me personally, you can put them right in the chat thread. We do have a premiere today, and that is happening at 11 a.m. Pacific in just about 40 minutes from now, and that's on our main YouTube channel. That's the YouTube channel you're on right now if you're on YouTube, but if you're on Twitch, come on over to YouTube for the premiere. We'd love to have you there. All right, we better get going because we got a lot to do today. Today we are working Psalm 79. Psalm 79 in traditional psalm magic is used to make everything right when you have been wronged by another, to eliminate obstacles, and also to break a curse. Today, I would like to use Psalm 79 to eliminate obstacles. Psalm 79 is one of the cursing psalms. Let's say that again. Psalm 79 is one of the cursing psalms, and you can find out more about the cursing psalms. I have a whole video on it, and I have a couple of blog articles on it as well. The way we work psalm magic is extremely simple and very effective. We take the psalm in question and we speak it out loud all the way through once without stopping. This is called an incantation. After the incantation, we go back through that same psalm and we take each verse one at a time, and we consider the inner occult meanings that we discover there. We just do our best to find them. By searching and digging and finding these meanings and then doing our best to apply them to whatever the situation is that we have brought to the psalm, we are taking those magic seeds that we are finding and planting them deeply in the fertile grounds of our mind, where they, in a very real way, take root. They blossom forth and they bear fruit after their kind. And that's exactly what we are going to do right now with Psalm 79. And you know I did forget to turn off my music from Rosary yesterday, so just a moment. Oops. That's not how you do it. There we go. We'll do that one more time. Oh, stop it. I'm so sorry, you guys. I can't seem to figure out which way is up and which way is down today. And that's exactly what we are going to do right now together with Psalm 79. O God, the heathen are come into thine inheritance. Let's do that again. O God, the heathen are come into thine inheritance. Thy holy temple have they defiled. Have they laid Jerusalem on heaps? The dead bodies of thy servants have they given to be meat unto the fowls of heaven. The flesh of thy saints unto the beasts of the earth. Their blood have they shed like water round about Jerusalem, and there was none to bury them. We are become a reproach to our neighbors, a scorn and derision to them that are round about us. How long, Lord, wilt thou be angry forever? Shall thy jealousy burn like fire? Pour out thy wrath upon the heathen that have not known thee, and upon the kingdoms that have not called upon thy name, for they have devoured Jacob, and laid waste his dwelling place. O remember not against us former iniquities. Let thy tender mercy speedily prevent us, for we are brought very low. Help us, O God of our salvation, for the glory of thy name, and deliver us, and purge away our sins for thy name's sake. Wherefore should the heathen say, Where is their God? Let him be known among the heathen in our sight, by the revenging of the blood of thy servants which is shed. Let the sighing of the prisoner come before thee, according to the greatness of thy power. Preserve thou those that are appointed to die, and render unto our neighbors sevenfold into their bosom their reproach, wherewith they have reproached thee, O Lord. So we thy people and sheep of thy pasture will give thee thanks forever. We will show forth thy praise to all generations. So this psalm was put in the setting of when Babylon destroyed the temple. Babylon completely destroyed the temple. They had believed that the temple was so protected and so safe that nothing could harm it. And there had been so much proof of that prior. And in the story, Babylon actually came in and terrorized and razed completely the temple, destroyed all the people. And this psalm then is the desire for vengeance. And who knows what type of form this psalm may have had in the very ancient past, but this is what we have now, and these are really good symbols for us, because when we have been wronged, when we have, today we are dealing with eliminating obstacles. So we can think of our obstacles as this Babylonian army that's destroying us, that's destroying everything. And we seek vengeance upon those obstacles. And in this regard, seeking vengeance is a good thing, because ultimately what we want is resolution. Ultimately what we're trying to find is a resolution to a problem here, regardless of what the obstacle may be. But the way that the Psalms work is so different than the way a lot of New Age thinking is. It's just like, well, you don't want to look at the bad thing. You don't want to think negatively. But the Psalms go about things very differently. The Psalms say, look straight at whatever it is and go right through it. And don't pretend it's not there. And feel what you're feeling and get worked up about what you're feeling so that you can find the resolution on the other side of it. So whatever this obstacle is, we are saying to God. Now, Elohim, God here, represents the host of heaven as a unity. So Elohim was the beginning of all that is. If you look in, just as a symbol, Elohim in Genesis 1 was the first being, if you will, the first idea. And so we consider it prime cause. And since it's the source, it's the substance, it's a symbol for the one power, the one source, the one substance in all of the universe, and nothing can go against it. Nothing. So, a lot of times people, when something happens, like our temple gets defiled, they say, well, where is God? Why would God let such a thing happen? And you have to remind yourself that God doesn't let any of that happen. We have the freedom as human beings to have our own experiences. But we can call upon and connect with this prime cause and allow it to work through us in order to heal, in order to correct, in order to give resolution. But when we try to do it all by ourselves, then we get stuck because we, come to terms with the fact that we as separated little egos have very little power, even though we have the freedom to think and do as we will. So when we are reconnecting to this power and reaffirming that this power has all power over everything, we have then connected to that which cannot fail, that which cannot fail. Nothing can go up against it. So it says, O God, the heathen are come into thine inheritance. What's God's inheritance? We are. So the heathen are whatever these obstacles are. The heathen are disordered thoughts. The heathen are ideas and thought forms which are at odds with our good. And so those obstacles are reflections of the heathen that are within our own mind that we have allowed to become. We have allowed those heathen to be created. But remember, well, first and foremost, this is not going against anybody who religiously identifies as a heathen. That's a completely different thing. So let's not confuse that. This represents disordered thinking. And this disordered thinking, this self-destructive thinking, is the seed of all manifestation that is like it. So whatever this obstacle is, we have to find the thought form within our mind, or at least acknowledge that there is a thought form within our mind that is allowing this to stay happening in our lives and destroy that thought form. If we don't do that, then we are seeking and receiving temporary relief at best, and we want permanent relief. So it says, O God, the heathen are come into thine inheritance. The holy temple have they defiled. They have laid Jerusalem on heaps. So whatever these obstacles are, it's as if they have come in and destroyed everything good in our life, destroyed everything that we hold dear. And we don't know what to do. And how could you allow this to happen, God? The dead bodies of thy servants have they given to be meat unto the fowls of heaven, the flesh of thy saints unto the beasts of the earth. So these images of these innocent people being murdered, being massacred within the holy temple. Now those are very powerful images, and we want to use those to our benefit when we are trying to dispel these obstacles, so that we can recognize what these heathen thoughts are all about. They are all about self-destruction, and they're trying to seek out and destroy everything that's good in our lives. Their blood have they shed like water round about Jerusalem, and there was none to bury them. So Jerusalem is the greater country. So that is the larger part of our minds, the totality of our minds. And our minds we have to recognize that our minds are ultimately holy. And so these outsiders are representative of these heathen thoughts. These Babylonians are representative of the ego mind, which is a mind of an imposter. And so that's why these thoughts are depicted as foreigners coming in, like destroyers, like terrorists coming in to just massacre us. So we are become a reproach to our neighbors, a scorn and derision to them that are round about us. So our neighbors are you can think of our neighbors as being other people, but let's recognize our neighbors as being the kindred thought forms in our own mind, which are at one with infinite intelligence. And it's trying to give us this image of these heathen being able to remove us from the presence of our soul. If you think about heaven as being a place where all the souls are in community, are at one, in peace. And these heathen then are being depicted as thought forms which are capable of pulling us away from our true place in heaven, our true place in our the company of other souls, really disrupting us. How long, Lord, wilt thou be angry forever? Shall thy jealousy burn like fire? So don't you want vengeance upon these heathen thought forms, God? Don't you want to fix this? Don't you feel bad for us? What's wrong with you? How long is it going to take you to come in and fix this? Why are you letting this happen? And see, this is the crux of the whole thing. We always want to point the finger at God. What's wrong with you that you're letting us do this to ourselves? What's wrong with you that you're letting us entertain heathen thought forms? What is wrong with you that you are letting us make an ego? What's wrong with you that you're letting us defile the temple? And you see, infinite intelligence isn't doing anything, but it has to let us do whatever it is that we will do, because that's the law that it created. It gave us freedom. Imagine if we weren't free. Imagine if you weren't free to think whatever you wanted to think. Then you'd just be a slave to this infinite intelligence. Now, you will think what I say. You will do what I tell you to do. You do not have any freedom. You do not have a choice. So we have to be free to live in the depths of the pits of hell if we decide to. If we're not free to do that, then we have nothing. We're nothing. So you can't blame God for the fact that you have an ego. You can't blame God for the fact that you have obstacles, but you can turn to God, or the infinite, if you will, to help you out of the problem that you and your fellow souls, your fellow egos have created for yourselves. You can, and it's eager to help you. That infinite is eager to help you, but can't come in uninvited, won't come in uninvited, won't do anything to disrespect whatever it is that you made. You made hell. We got to respect that, because that was what you decided to do. You're living in a life of obstacles and problems and destruction. Well, I have to let you do that. But if you don't want to do that anymore, I'm here to help you. That's the attitude here. Pour out thy wrath upon the heathen that have not known thee, and upon the kingdoms that have not called upon thy name. So you are using your own need for vengeance for the thought forms that you yourself created, even though it doesn't seem like it. You are using your own need for vengeance to help you. So you want to lean into that need for vengeance and then let that vengeance be God's. Because God has a way of being vengeful that doesn't do anything but good. That's not something that we can do as egos. When we satisfy our own vengeance, it just creates more problems. But when we give that vengeance to God, God can use it for our benefit in a way that we can't understand. And that's angelic. That's what an angel is for. So if you think of Samael, that warrior angel, taking up the sword and taking care of it for you, he will take care of it in a way that you don't have the ability to understand even, let alone carry out on your own, at least not in this particular frame of mind. So you don't want to pretend like that need for vengeance isn't there. You want to lean into it and then allow that higher power to do it for you. For they have devoured Jacob and laid waste his dwelling place. So devouring Jacob means all of the descendants of Jacob, if you will, the house of Jacob, and his dwelling place, his memory, all of what Jacob represents. Jacob is that which is pre-Israelite. So in the mythology of this particular Bible, Jacob was a flawed individual that did his best, but just by himself was not that great. Tried, was very sincere, but was always making mistakes. And the infinite God renamed Jacob Israel. And when God renamed Jacob Israel, that was a point at which Jacob became initiated. And that's you. That's you. So, but it's interesting because they are devouring Jacob here. And so we are talking about how the fact that all they can do, all these thought forms can do, all of these distractions, all of these obstacles, all of these problems, the only thing it can affect is that which happened before our initiation. It can only affect that which is Jacob and Jacob's dwelling place, but not who we are as blessed by the infinite. So it can only affect what we made, not what God made. Because even if you think about it in terms of the story of the Babylonian armies coming and destroying the temple wasn't made by God. The temple was made by humans. The temple, the true temple, exists on a plane that can't be destroyed. It exists in a place that no army could ever touch it. So it's really important to understand that these obstacles only can affect that which is mortal, only can affect that which is ego-based, only can affect that which we made, not which God made. Okay. Oh, remember not against us former iniquities. Let thy tender mercy speedily prevent us, for we are brought very low. So if this is part of a big punishment, God, please forgive us because, we're sorry, but just stop it. Stop it. Again, we're blaming God. Again, we're blaming God even subtly here. Okay, if this had something to do with something we messed up on, okay, we're sorry, but just stop it. So infinite intelligence can stop these obstacles. Infinite intelligence can correct everything. But we have to get to the point where we understand that it wasn't the infinite's will that this happened, and to stop pointing the finger at God, even though we're doing it in a very, very sort of sly way by saying, well, if there's something I did, I'm sorry, but we're still implying that God might be part of this, that somehow God might be responsible for this, or at least responsible for allowing it to happen. And as long as we are willing to blame God for the problem, we aren't capable of accepting the solution from God. Help us, O God of our salvation, for the glory of thy name, and deliver us and purge away our sins for thy name's sake. Well, that's a very good thing to ask. Help us, O God. That's the first smart thing that we've said in this psalm. We're not saying anything other than we don't know what to do. You please help us for our salvation. The solving of this problem. That's what salvation is, whatever you brought to the psalm. For the glory of thy name. So the glory of the name of God, Glory is that which glows, that which shimmers, that which is alive and bright and holy. And the name of God is all of the different qualities of God. It's all those different angels within the host of the Elohim. And the Elohim is just the unity of all of those angels. So now we're recognizing that the glory of the name of God, the glory of the qualities of God, can't be defiled and can't want anything other than good for us, because we are the beloved children of this. We are the beloved extension of this force. And there is nothing but good that this force wants for us. But now instead of thinking for ourselves, we're saying, help us, save us for the glory of your name, and deliver us and purge away our sins for thy name's sake. Again with the names. So when we're asking to be purged, we're asking to be cleansed, we're asking to be delivered and saved. Now we have put the infinite in charge, and we're taking our hands off of it, and we're saying, maybe this did have something to do with us. Maybe we did have a hand in this. Can you fix this for us, please? And God's response is, well, all you needed to do is ask, and here I am. Wherefore should the heathen say, where is their God? Let him be known among the heathen in our sight, by the revenging of the blood of thy servants, which is shed. Okay, so when the heathen are saying, where is their God? That is the ego mind saying, nothing can save you. Nothing can save you. There is no God. Or if there is a God, God wants you to be suffering, because why else would God allow this to happen? All of those kinds of thoughts. So noticing within your own mind, anytime you're either blaming God or questioning that God can help you, or questioning that there can even be a solution to this problem, that is the heathen within your mind questioning God. And let him be known among the heathen in our sight. Let God be known among the heathen in our sight, even while we're thinking these thoughts, even while we are experiencing these problems, even in the midst of these obstacles that we need to be freed from. Let us see God and not the heathen. By the revenging of the blood of thy servants, which is shed. So the problems that this is causing us, that these obstacles are causing us, the problems that we are experiencing as a result of these self-destructive thought forms, let God be the avenger. Let God be the avenger. Let Samael, if you will, be the avenger here. We're not going to do it ourselves. We're going to let the infinite take care of it for us. And it wants to take care of it for us, but we had to ask, and we had to sincerely mean it. Let the sighing of the prisoner come before thee, according to the greatness of thy power. Preserve thou those that are appointed to die. Who's the prisoner here? Your soul. Your soul's been imprisoned by the ego. And we've let that happen by not taking control of our own minds. And it's gotten to the point where we don't know how to take control of our own minds anymore, because we don't know which way is up. That's the result of allowing all of this ego thinking, these heathen thoughts, this self-destructive thinking. That's the disease of the mind that we are left with by even contemplating the ego in the first place. And it's so out of control. But now we are allowing ourselves to recognize that and say, please help me fix this, change this. It says, let the sighing of the prisoner come before thee. So before the infinite, that's the soul. According to the greatness of thy power, preserve thou those that are appointed to die. Now that's what the ego tells you. The ego says that I can kill the soul. The soul can die. Infinite intelligence knows that the soul is immortal. Infinite intelligence knows that there is no such thing as death, especially not in the real world, not in the world where your soul is alive. So we are asking for the infinite to show itself and to prove to us the immortality of our soul and how it can't be touched, it can't be harmed, it can't be imprisoned. and render unto our neighbors sevenfold into their bosom. Let's say that again. And render unto our neighbors sevenfold into their bosom their reproach wherewith they have reproached thee, O Lord. Sevenfold. By the power, by the power of Gabriel, be it done. By the power of Samael, be it done. By the power of Raphael, be it done. By the power of Sakiel, be it done. By the power of Anael, be it done. By the power of Cassiel, be it done. By the power of Mikael, be it done. That's one way to think of that sevenfold. Throughout the entire week on destroy these obstacles on Monday, and then destroy them on Tuesday, and then destroy them on Wednesday, then destroy them on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Sevenfold. All the planets of the solar system of old. All those seven teaching angels, those 7 days of the week, however you want to think about it, 7 means completely destroy the obstacle. Destroy here is vengeance. So anything that's, what we're asking for here is that whatever those heathen thoughts are trying to put out to us are then returned onto them to destroy them. So if the heathen thoughts, those self-destructive thought forms are something to the effect of, you're not good enough, that comes right back onto them. You're not good enough to make any difference in this person's life. If maybe those thoughts are, you're evil, and that comes right back onto the thought form. You're evil, so you must be destroyed. Whatever it is that those heathen thought forms are putting out, sevenfold, it's coming back to them to destroy them. Why? Because we've asked for the help. We've asked for this help, and infinite intelligence knows exactly what to do. So we, thy people and sheep of thy pasture, will give thanks. So we, thy people and sheep of thy pasture, will give thee thanks forever. We will show forth thy praise to all generations. Now, the ego wants you to look at a passage like that and say, you don't want to be a sheep. You don't want to just be follower. Don't you want to think for yourself? But you see, that's the lie. You want to think for yourself, yes. And you want to remember who you are. You are an extension of pure love. You are an extension of divinity and nothing else added. That's what a sheep means in this pasture. It's a peaceful, loving being that is at one with the infinite, who is the shepherd, and all is well, and everything's in harmony. And until you use your God-given powers of freedom and free will to want that, to want to live in that pasture, you're going to experience life outside of that pasture, but it's at your own hand. So we, thy people and sheep of thy pasture, we're affirming that, will give thee thanks forever. We will show forth thy praise to all generations. That means from now on. All generations in this sense means from now on, we're going to remember that it's you that is the reality, not those heathen thoughts. It's you that is the reality, not those obstacles, not those problems. And that those obstacles and those problems and those heathen thoughts disappear in your presence. But it has to come from us. We have to use our free will to do that, to turn to you. It won't be done for us because we do have freedom. So you just keep coming back to the psalm each and every day until you get a sense that things are working out. You'll get a sense of peace and a sense of certainty. And that little click that you get is an indicator from your deep mind that your spell has been cast and you don't have to work on this thing anymore. When you feel that, just move off of this. Just know it's manifesting in the most perfect way. You don't have to give it another thought, and you can move on to something else. Thank you so much for spending some time with me. Until next time, blessed be. Let's see if we have any questions. We do not have any questions. Okay, so we have just under 10 minutes before our premiere, so I hope that you can join us on our premiere. And I thank you all so much for joining us today, and thank you so much to the amazing moderator team. Today we had the lovely Shirley, the lovely Honeypaw, and the lovely Dre. So thank you so much, moderators, and thank you to everybody for joining us today. I hope this was a helpful thing for you, and I hope to see you over at our premiere. Blessed be.